Hello, first graders. It's Mrs. Conley checking in with how we're doing with our Fundations. If you've been watching the last few lessons, we've been doing lots and lots of review, right? Suffixes and just all of those little rules that we've been learning about all during first grade. So what I would like to do, guys, is today I'm going to give you some dictations, and this is going to be the last dictation I'm going to give you for this year as first graders. Okay, since we're almost done first grade, and this is the last unit we've been working on. So what I'm going to need you to do is, if you have your whiteboard, okay, you can use your whiteboard if you need to. You're going to have to write a little smaller because we're going to do some letters, we're going to do some words, and then we're going to do a couple sentences. Okay, and then I'm going to ask you, after you're done with this today, if you could take a picture and put it on Seesaw for myself and Mrs. Wickham, and if you're joining us for Mrs. Humphrey's class. Okay, and this is just going to be a way for us to know how well you're doing with all of those rules and spelling those words and knowing all of those letter sounds. Okay, if you have just a regular piece of paper, that's fine too. If you have your pink Fundations book that I think we sent home with you, it's the wind one that we used to call it. It's got the big wind gust on the front. You could find an empty page to do this dictation too, just like we do in the classroom. Okay, you don't have to have your pink wind book. Okay, you don't have to have this whiteboard. You can do it on a regular piece of paper. Okay, so I'm going to give you some letter sounds, some words, and then a couple of sentences. And I want you to do your very best to write those for me. Okay, and then remember your very best handwriting, right? If we're just practicing letter sounds and words, right? Lowercase letters. Okay, remember, if it's uppercase, it is incorrect, right? Like if you're in Mrs. Conley's room, we say that. And then with the sentence, I'll talk you through what the sentence needs to look like. Okay, so as soon as you're ready, you can pause if you need to go get your materials, and you can start it back up when you're ready to go. Okay, all right, give you a second to go get that stuff. You can pause, and then you can start when you're ready. Okay, so I'm going to give you some letter sounds, and you're just going to write the letter that makes those sounds. Okay, here we go. All right, this one is a glued sound, friends. So if you could write the letters that make the glued sound, ong, ong, like in song or long, just those letters that make ong, ong. Okay, and if you need to pause while you write this one, pause and then start back up again. All right, number 2, this next one, please write the letter that makes the sound b, b. Remember from way back at the beginning of the year, you clip that sound, right? B, b. All right. Then I want you to write the letters that make that long E sound. E. Should get that one really quick, right? All right, the next one, please write the letters that make the sound ch, ch, like chin. Just those letters that make ch, ch. All right, and then your last one, please write the letters that make the sound qua, qua. Think about that one, like quick. Qua. Great. Hope you did okay. I'm sure you did. All right, now we're going to do some words, okay? When you do the words, if you're able to scoop the syllables, fabulous, awesome, okay? So I'm going to give you a word. I want you to write the word, and then if you're able to, scoop the syllables, those word parts, okay? All right, the first one is admit. Admit. I admit I would rather be in school. Admit. Admit. So you're going to write the letters that make that word, and then if you can scoop the syllables in there. All right, the next one. Can you please write the word thrilling? Thrilling. You may hear those ink brothers. You may hear a digraph in the beginning. Give you a hint that in the word thrilling, there is a bonus letter. Okay. Remember, you can mark that up. There's a digraph in there. There's a glued sound. And if you could scoop up your syllables, try that. All right, your next one. Clockwise. Clockwise. All right, the direction that a clock goes in the right order. Clockwise. That's a compound word. Talked about that one. So try and scoop it. There's a blend in the beginning. There's a digraph in there. And then in that second part of the word, clockwise. What do you need at the end of that word to make that long I? Clockwise. Clockwise. All right, your next one. Expected. Expected. I expected the groceries to be delivered. Expected. And that has a suffix at the end. Expected. Try and do these on your own, guys, okay? It's just a check-in to see how you're doing, okay? Don't ask mom or dad how to spell these. I want you to use your sounds, okay? All right, and then your next one, dislikes. Dislikes. If you know anything about Mrs. Conley, she dislikes snakes. Yuck. Dislikes. All right, that has a suffix at the end. Dislikes. See if you can scoop those syllables, okay? All righty. Okay, so you should have had your letter sounds, your words. Now we're going to do a sentence, okay? Remember a sentence. If I start a sentence, it starts with a capital letter and it has an ending mark, okay? Think of some of those trick words that might be in the sentence, okay? Are you ready? Okay. Mr. Jeff squinted to see the kids. Mr. Jeff squinted to see the kids. How are you going to do? I'm going to give you a hint on this one. Mr. Jeff. So thinking someone's name, what kind of letter do you need to start with? Mr. Remember the abbreviation for Mr. Another hint. Mr. Jeff squinted to see the kids. Don't forget that ending mark. Okay, you can pause and rewind this if you need to. Last time, Mr. Jeff squinted to see the kids. All right, we're gonna do one more sentence, okay? Your last sentence. I insisted that we jump in the water. I insisted that we jump in the water. Think about those trick words. How are you going to start that sentence? I insisted that we jump into, I am so sorry. I insisted that we jump in the water. Made a mistake there. It happens. Okay, one more time. I insisted that we jump in the water. And you can mark those up just to show what you know. Okay, you can circle those trick words. Okay, if you notice a suffix or a blend, absolutely if you want to show me what you know. Okay, so once you're done, you can pause, but I'm going to go through and say these one more time so you can just check what you wrote. Okay, all right, so back up with your sounds. You should have wrote those sounds for the glued sound that makes ong, ong. You should have written the word. I am so sorry again. Mrs. Conley's making all kinds of mistakes today. You should have wrote the letter that makes the sound b, b. Then you should have wrote the letters that make the long E sound. Think of that magic one. All right, then you should have wrote the letters that made ch, ch, like chin. And then I asked you to write the letters that made the sound qu, qu. Don't be fooled on that one. All right, then now just check your words now. I asked you to write the word admit, admit. The next one was thrilling, thrilling. Then you had clockwise, clockwise. The next one was expected. And the last word was dislikes, dislikes. All right, I'm going to read those sentences one more time so you can just check and make sure you have everything you need, okay? Mr. Jeff squinted to see the kids. Okay. Did you start with an uppercase letter? Did you have an ending mark? And then your second sentence. I insisted that we jump in the water. All right. I'm sure you guys did fabulous. Okay. So if you're able, please take a picture. Put this on Seesaw so we can just check and see how you did, friends. Okay. And I hope you have a fabulous weekend. And next week is our last week of first grade. Can you believe it? It's been a great year. Thank you for joining me, guys. Take care and stay healthy.